Hey guys and girls, thanks for coming and checking out my channel. I'm Sober Chef Eric, and today we're going to make a gluten-free, vegan, roasted red bell pepper marinara. Ooh, yeah, it's going to be good. Got some friends coming over tonight. We're going to watch some UFC. Whoop, whoop. And, you know, I'm going to feed them some good grub. They've been rock climbing all day, so they're going to come with the hunger. You know it. So, hang out after this intro, and we'll get to cooking. Whoop. Alrighty guys, time to get to cooking. I've got the pan and oil heated up. You know what that means. Time for the goodness. That is 1 medium onion on regular dice. My knife cuts aren't that even because still getting used to working with the bicep getting reattached. So we're just going to sweat these for a second. I want them to have a little bit of toothsomeness to them. Now we're going to take 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, and we're going to put that right on in there. Now, whenever you're cooking garlic, you want to make sure you want to get it brown to bring out that natural fructose in it. Get it nice and sweet, but you do not want it to burn because that's no bueno. I don't know any Italian besides prego. But tonight, like I said in the intro, we're going to be making a wonderful roasted red bell pepper marinara. Now, I really like red bell peppers, so I got 2 of these small jars. They're 12-ounce jars. I really like the Mount Olive. I think they got a great flavor to them. But if you want to get, the Centro or whatever. Now, if I had a gas range instead of electric like I have in my apartment, if I had gas, I'd go ahead and blister them over the heat myself, give them a nice little roast, or if I was allowed to have a grill, I'd grill some up. Now, one thing I don't know if I mentioned in the other recipes, this is going to feed 4 good-sized guys. Or gals, family of 4, whatever. And my buddies are coming over. And like I said in the intro, they've been rock climbing all day. So they're going to come with an appetite. Now, normally I would be cooking this in a sauce pot. But it's really hard for you guys to see inside the sauce pot when I'm cooking. So it's starting to get a little color on it. So I'll go over the other ingredients, and plus I will leave the ingredients in the description. So you'll just be able to look down below. Now I'll go over the other ingredients for you. Like I say, this is super simple. And if you don't like roasted red peppers, leave it out, So first thing we're going to use Gluten crushed tomatoes, big 28 ouncer. Then we're going to use 1 28 ouncer of the Gluten diced. And then we're going to finish up with 1 28 ounce Gluten tomato puree. Now the reason I chose to use Gluten, 1, it's a wonderful organic company. 2, they're grown and manufactured and everything in California, so not in China or anything weird like that. And on America's Test Kitchen, they did a Can Tomato test, and Gluten came out to be, closest to fresh. And then we're going to finish to thicken up the sauce with one little 6-ounce can of Gluten organic tomato paste. Yep. Now, if you like it a little thinner, or we could say a little looser, then you can use like half a can or no. Just kind of depends on how you like your sauce. Then I've got 2 packages, Julienned fresh basil. Get some nice herbaceousness right at the end. I've got half a tablespoon of kosher salt and half a tablespoon of crushed black red pepper. I've got 2 tablespoons of dried organic Italian blend spices, so it's going to have some oregano and it's going to have some basil, but like I said, I love that fresh basil. I would have got fresh oregano, but they didn't have any. And then, because I like my stuff a little spicy, one of the guys doesn't, so I'm only going to use half a tablespoon of crushed red peppers. Now, if you like to cook with wine, this is where you could pour a nice Chianti in or something like that to deglaze the pan. But, I'm sober Chef Eric, so, I don't drink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deglaze the pan with just a little bit of the salt water that I will be cooking in my pasta in. So, here we go. And like I said, this will feed 4 with some leftovers. Crushed tomatoes. And before we add the tomato puree, we're going to add our salt and pepper. We're going to add our 2 tablespoons dry Italian seasoning. We're going to add our half tablespoon of crushed red pepper. And we're just going to give this a nice little stir. And right now I've got my burner on medium. So if you have, digits on there, I've got 5 out of 10. And I'm going to leave it on a nice medium for a few minutes. And then I'm going to add my tomato puree. And the kind of pasta I'm going to be using today, I'm going to be using this gluten-free risotto. And I got the penne. And the reason I like the penne for this sauce is, some of that wonderful goodness is just going to get right in there on each one of those little pieces of penne pasta. And it's going to be wonderful. As you can see, I love garlic. And this started to smell pretty good. Now, some people don't like the acidic taste of tomatoes. So what you can do in that situation is just add about a tablespoon of sugar. Add too much, it's going to make the whole stuff really sweet. But if you add just a little bit, it'll take away some of that acidic taste. All right. Forgot to grab my ladle. Now, with all this COVID going on and everything, if you watched my intro, you know that I suffer from a few mood disorders. Well, the other day was just one of those days where I just couldn't get out of bed. But doing a lot better. I knew it was going to pass. So, I talked to my parents for a little bit, and I got online and talked to my friends online, and, yeah, it was hard to go to sleep that night, but it passed. So now we're gonna add in our 2 cans. And as you can see, I cut them up so they'll be nice on the spoon. Put those bad boys in there. We're gonna give it a little stir. Like I said, this is gonna feed 4 hungry men, and we're gonna have some leftovers. So that's always a good thing in my book. Now, one thing I forgot to mention in some of my other videos, when you cook with love, you can really taste it. And when you cook when you're happy, it's just gonna make everything that much even better. So cooking for people you love, with love and with happiness, that's how we're gonna make all these dishes wonderful. Now, another reason I make it with this many cans and this much sauce is once it cools down, I'll put it into Ziploc bags and then I'll throw it in the freezer. And then that way you've got a super simple, yummy, tasty, quick dinner. You know, all you gotta do is cook some pasta. All right, we're gonna bring the heat up to about a number 7. We're gonna add in our tomato puree. And just because I don't like to waste anything. And then I'll rinse it out before I put it into recycling. There we go. Now this is going to be kind of a long process, letting it simmer and everything. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, we're going to do a little YouTube magic. And I'm going to pause the video, and then once it's been simmering for about an hour, I'll start it back up and then see how it's starting to bubble just a little bit. Oh, that's the good stuff. All right, now a little trick you can do if you don't want tomato sauce all over your stovetop and all over, you know, the backsplash and everything else, you can take some foil and just put it over it. Put a couple holes in it so it can breathe. Now we're going to take it down to around a nice little number 2. And the reason we're not putting the fresh basil in quite yet is because we want that nice, fresh, beautiful green look right as we finish. Now, while it's simmering, those dried spices are going to come out, they're going to bloom. And so, magic presto. All right, you guys are about 10 minutes out. I just dropped the pasta, getting ready to put the bread in the oven, and here we go, 2 packages. Fresh Basil Julienned. Now my friends are a little camera shy, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to do the tasting on camera, but I tasted it a little bit ago and I added the tomato paste, so as you can see it's nice and thick. If you don't want it so thick, don't add any, and you know, you can always add some water. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day, and remember, life's too short to eat bad food.